Welcome, fellow survivors. The zombie apocalypse is upon us, and things look bleak. It's time to leave your old life behind. Mowing the lawn has been replaced with mowing down zombies, and there's nothing you love doing more. Join us as we hunt for shelter and safety in an epic battle against the undead. Today, the Noobs are committing the violent act of Zombicide.
Zombicide acts something like an action horror television show in that every season has a different set of missions set along a linear storyline. In Season 2 of Zombicide, we follow a group of survivors as they try to infiltrate and secure a prison to use as a safe house against the endless waves of undead. Can't think of where I've heard that before. The missions guide offers a visual reference for how to place the map tiles, door markers, and other tokens. It will also tell you what objectives must be met before you can end the game. Take out the 9 double-sided game tiles provided in the box. Using the mission guide as a visual reference, place the needed number of tiles in the proper order to create your environment. Once placed, you have your arena for the inevitable bloodbath to follow. Spawn points. Spawn points mark the area on the map where the mindless hordes of undead zombies will flood onto the map. Their sole objective is to feast on your entrails, so move quickly and complete your mission, and don't be afraid to tear down your once human foes. Red spawn points are active, while colored spawn points remain dormant until activated later in the game. Doors and gates. Now look at the mission guide to figure out where on the map to place any door and gate tokens. Be mindful of the colors used on the map, as certain colored doors are linked together to corresponding switches in the game. Survivors can open regular doors only when they are carrying an equipment card that features the door symbol in the upper right corner, such as the claw hammer or a fire axe. Colored doors or gates can only be opened by activating the switch of the corresponding color. Even the mighty concrete saw cannot cut them down. Switches. Switches are special items in the game that can be used to open and close certain sets of doors within the game. Sometimes a switch can be used to open and close a set of doors at your leisure. Sometimes a switch is good only once, meaning that once the doors are open, they remain open for the game. Check the mission parameters before beginning to make sure. Objective markers. Objective markers are X tiles that get placed at certain places on the map. Survivors must collect these objectives in order to complete the mission. But beware, survivors, that harmless-looking objective marker could activate a dormant spawn point.
The characters. Each season of Zombicide features its own unique band of survivors, and each survivor comes with their own unique set of abilities. Each character starts with only its first ability activated. As you progress through the game, killing zombies and gaining more experience, you'll unlock even more abilities, turning you from a scared, sniveling sack of meat into a cold, efficient human weapon. Different characters have different skill sets. Some excel with ranged weapons, while others would prefer to get up close and personal with a couple of katanas. The Zombicide rulebook contains a detailed breakdown of all the different character abilities, so make sure you know how to best control your survivor. The zombie hordes. Zombicide comes complete with a giant box of zombie miniatures to wreak havoc on your poor survivors. The different types of zombies include walkers, your basic garden variety walking corpse. Runners, a strict upgrade from the walker. These zombies are super fast and super lethal. Fatties! Fatties are giant bloated corpses. Their thick layer of flesh make them extra hard to take down, needing 2 points of damage rather than just 1. Not only that, but every fatty spawns with an escort of 2 walkers. Finally comes the horrible, mutated, big daddy zombie, the Abomination. An Abomination on the map spells almost certain doom for your survivors, as it requires 5 points of damage in a single hit to take down. You'll have to get creative in your methods of dispatching the undead if you want to make it out. Berserkers. Each season of Zombicide introduces a new special mutation to its zombies. In Season 2, Prison Outbreak, our survivors must face the dreaded Berserker zombies. A Berserker zombie has extra tough skin and is immune to ranged attacks. Each different type of zombie in the game can spawn as a Berserker: walker, runner, fatty, and even the dreaded Abomination. If you want to take down a Berserker zombie, you'll have to get your hands dirty. Forget the firearms and take out your fire axe. It's time to get messy. Survivor turn. Choose a player to go first and give them the first player token. It's time to hop into the world of Zombicide. Each player gets 3 actions per turn, though some abilities may allow for more. The different actions available include movement, combat, opening doors, searching, or trading rearranging equipment. Movement action. A movement action is just what it sounds like. Move your character from one zone of the board to the next. A survivor can take as many move actions in a turn as he or she has actions to spend. Survivor beware though, if you're in a zone that has a zombie in it, it costs 1 more move action to leave that zone for each zombie in the square. For example, if you're in a zone with 2 walkers and are attempting to leave, it will cost you all 3 of your actions to leave that zone. Combat action. A combat action is any ranged or melee attack on a zombie. You can use any weapons on your person to try and rid the board of some of the undead hordes advancing on your position. As with movement, you can take as many combat actions in a turn as you have actions to spend. In order to take a ranged combat attack, you must have a clear line of sight to the target. You may not shoot around corners or through doors. Opening doors. Certain tools like the claw hammer or fire axe can be used to pry open doors to allow the survivors to explore new areas of the map. Tread lightly, though, survivors. When you open up a previously blocked off area of the map, you must spawn a zombie card for each new room opened up to you. Once a door is pried open, it is considered broken and cannot be closed again. Search action. Search actions can be performed by survivors to try and find better equipment to aid in the act of zombicide. A survivor can only perform 1 search action per turn and must be indoors to perform the search, unless a character ability states otherwise. Trading, rearranging cards. A survivor can use an action to rearrange their equipment or trade equipment cards with another survivor sharing the same zone as them. If you're holding a claw hammer but have abilities geared more for ranged combat, you might want to trade that to a character who's a bit better at getting messy with melee combat. Anytime you trade cards, both players may rearrange their inventory without taking another action. That's all.
Yay.
That's all. Zombie turn. The survivors have all made their moves, and now it's time for the undead to feast. The zombie turn happens in 2 basic phases: zombies advance and spawn zombies. Zombies advance. Every zombie currently on the board receives 1 action to either advance a zone or attack a survivor. Any zombie that is sharing a space with a survivor attacks. The survivor receives a wound card and must discard an equipment card from their hand. If more than 1 survivor is in the square, they may decide how to spread around any damage. Any survivor who suffers 2 wounds is dead. Dead, you hear me? Dead. Any zombie that does not currently share a zone with a survivor moves 1 zone towards the closest survivor in their line of sight or to whichever survivor made the most noise last turn. We'll talk more about noise in a moment. Survivors beware. Runners receive an extra activation each turn, meaning that they get to advance 2 squares toward the delicious sacks of meat in front of them. If a runner is only 1 square away from you at the beginning of activation, they get to move a zone and attack. But if the runner is already in the zone with you at the beginning of activation, it does not attack twice. Spawn zombies. After all zombies on the board have advanced, it's time to unleash new undead horrors on your poor, helpless survivors. For each red spawn zone on the board, flip over a spawn card. The number level of zombie madness you must face is directly tied to the experience level of your survivors. Check for the highest experience level amongst all players and match that color to the spawn card. The more zombies you kill, the more that will rise to replace them. Place the appropriate type and number of zombies at that location on the board. Pay close attention to note if the spawn death machines are traditional or berserkers. And don't forget that any fatty placed on the board comes with an escort of 2 walkers. Watch out, survivors. If a spawn card features a manhole symbol on the top corner, it means the zombies are crawling up from the sewers. Place the required type and number of zombies on any manhole that features a survivor on the same map tile. One more word of warning, survivors. Take care to dispatch these monsters quickly, because if ever you must spawn a type of zombie but do not have any miniatures to place on the board, all zombies of that type on the board receive an extra activation, making your slow and agonizing demise come that much faster.
Equipment. Whenever a survivor makes a search action, they take an equipment card. The survivor could pull an amazing new weapon, like the sawed-off shotgun, or the bone-crunching concrete saw. Certain cards in the pile can be collected and combined with other cards to create even more powerful weapons, like combining gasoline and a glass bottle into the devastating Molotov cocktail. In the pile are equipment cards like plenty of ammo, which allows the holder to re-roll a ranged attack, if they choose. Mixed in the pile are also useless cards like the bag of rice, and even the chance to find a zombie. So be cautious, survivors. They're not all winners. Vehicles. Certain missions might feature various vehicles on the map. Survivors can search vehicles for weapons, use the vehicle or to move across the map, or even to mow down the advancing hordes of walkers. Noise. Stealth and silence are both invaluable assets in any zombie apocalypse. But let's be honest, blowing the face off an advancing walker is just way more fun. Certain items and actions in the game are going to make noise. There's just no way around it. If you use an item that causes noise, noted by this symbol on the card, place a noise marker on the map for each time that item is used that turn. Any zombies that don't have a clear line of sight to a survivor will advance in the direction of wherever is making the most noise. Survivors can even choose to make noise as an action, a clever way to try and distract the zombies from a cornered ally.
Your character was felled by the advancing swarm of undead, but don't lose heart, or kidney, or brain. You've been reanimated, but not as a shuffling, mindless beast. Embodied with all the strengths of the undead, but retaining your own free will, you continue the hunt as a walker-slaying zombivor. Gifted with a new set of skills and a new thirst for zombicide, you are an undead zombie killing machine. After your weak human character dies, take the miniature off the board and replace it with the way more awesome Zombivor mini. You are now a hulking, intimidating tank of a zombie. In order to kill a Zombivor, all 5 inventory slots must be filled with wound cards.
Thanks for watching, fellow survivors. Head over to Zombicide.com to check out all the different Zombicide products available, including all the different seasons, expansion packs, bonus characters, and other cool finds. They even have free downloadable missions for once you've completed the included storyline. Make sure to like us here at BoardGameNoobs and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Okay, survivors, keep a watchful eye out for any lurking zombies, and make sure to watch as the noobs play through the first mission of Zombicide Prison Outbreak. Happy hunting, and game on.
To escape with a survivor, moves 1 Zord. The different types of zombies included: any survivor who suffers 2 wounds is dead, and match the color to the spawn. Oh my gosh.
Don't laugh at me.
Now what? Don't waste the tomatoes! Oh. Okay, how could that be bad? Thought you wanted to play!
Jeez.
That's what she said.